Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you know anything about me at all, you know that I use Adobe Premiere Pro and Adobe Photoshop. I'm gonna be honest with you, the prices are ridiculous. I haven't really noticed until today, and I'm not even sure what they're charging me. So, let's just take a quick look. Adobe.com. Alright, how much are they charging me to use Adobe Photography plan and Premiere Pro plan? Because apparently Premiere Pro isn't in that plan. You've been charging me $300 a year to use Premiere Pro? Just Premiere Pro. I've been getting charged $400 to use Photoshop and Premiere Pro. Yeah, that's it. This is done. Are you serious? I've been getting charged $400 a year to use 2 apps. Are you serious right now? Yeah, I know it'll end in 83 days. I don't want to ever see it again. Confirm the cancellation. Holy shit. I'm free of Adobe. I'm free. Scouty, I'm free. I'm free. Wait, how am I gonna edit videos now? Oh, I could just use Davinci Resolve. But I don't know how to use Davinci Resolve. And this is what I've learned so far. Okay, so from my understanding, Davinci Resolve is actually somehow popular and niche at the same time. I've heard all these things online that film directors use this software, and all these color grading specialists use Davinci Resolve because it has unparalleled performance. But I'm not either of those. So what do I use it for? For me, the biggest appeal of Davinci Resolve is the price. First of all, it's free by default. You don't have to pay a single cent to use it. And there is a studio option that costs $300, but I would pay Adobe $100 more than that every year just to use 2 apps when I could get this one app forever and never pay it ever again. Now, am I going to be buying Studio? Probably not, because I haven't had a single run-in with any of those features besides one thing about AI that I probably won't use. So let's hop onto the computer and see just how much I've learned. First of all, let's just see how long it takes to boot up. I'm gonna click it right here and we're gonna count. Less than 5 seconds. That's incredible. Do you understand? I would have to wait upwards of a minute for Premiere Pro to load. That's already a bonus. Second, this UI, peak design. I love being able to see frames and being able to comb through it if I really wanted to. I love how I don't have to go to the cloud to use the app, which I always hated. I don't even have to log in to use the app. Let's go to this video that we're in right now and see how that works. So, at first glance it looks ridiculous, but something cool that happened when I first booted up Davinci Resolve was that it asked me what app I was migrating from, which I thought was kind of creepy at first. I was like, wait a minute, how do you know this about me? But then I also realized that I'm not the only one who uses this app. All I did was click, I'm coming from Premiere Pro, and then it optimized my view for Premiere Pro. If we just go to the very first page here, it's called Media. This is where you can import all your stuff. I don't really spend any time in the specialized areas because I don't know how this app fully works to be able to appreciate that. Then you hit the second one, which is Cut. Davinci really wants me to edit in this format, but I, like many others, am going to ignore it. Instead of using any of the tools available here, like being able to just cut it however you would normally edit, if you cut all your video first, and then do that, good for you. I'm happy for it. You edit efficiently. I go to edit immediately, and I trim and add more stuff on, and do the zoom in, and all this other stuff in these transform panels, because I am impatient, and I probably have ADHD, but it hasn't been diagnosed, and I can't just sit there and cut and cut and cut with the idea in my head and not be able to visualize it, you know? In Edit, you have all these options here. I'm not going to walk you through how to use Davinci Resolve entirely, because if you're watching this video, that's probably not why you're here. But if you do want a video about how to edit in Davinci Resolve, let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to cook one up for you. It's really not that complicated if you've used another app like Premiere Pro or Sony Vegas or any other editing software on a computer or even on a phone. But nonetheless, there's a few things that I like to do here. The zoom is basically just the scaling. The position is just the X and Y, which makes sense. Rotation is here, which was a little jarring. The anchor point, I don't really mess with that. The pitch, I actually never tried that. And the yaw, that's kind of funny. And then there's actual ability to just flip it like that. That's really cool. I would probably not use that very often, but I really do appreciate when you can just click it. You don't have to right click and be like, oh yes, just this thing. Right, just so much easier. Cropping, you can just crop without needing an adjustment layer. Isn't that awesome? I'm gonna not miss the adjustment layers. And then in composite, that's where you get your opacity and your fade ins, your fade outs, and all this other stuff that I don't really use. If you've seen my how to edit like a YouTuber video on Mach, you pretty much know how to edit in Davinci Resolve, because it's not terribly different, especially if you select the Premiere Pro option when you're first making an installation of this thing. There are some things that are different, like the toolbox. You can get different transitions, and I love this digital glitch. I really love that text. I love how it kind of goes across and then goes away. That's my favorite text to use, and I'll probably use it in every single one of my videos from now on. Besides that, there's not much you do in Edit besides edit your video, you know? Then there's Fusion. I don't understand Fusion at all. You have your beginning, whatever you're looking at, and you're out. And you can do all these other things in between. I don't even understand it. I think I said that when I was first talking about Davinci Resolve back in the day, but I don't get this page at all. So the next thing I go to is color. Color is basically just color grading. Like I said, color specialists go here, especially these shots that are overly warm. This is where I went to change the HDR. I changed the color so everything was slightly warmer than my camera was giving. And then next you have Fairlight, which is basically just an audio spot. I've actually never been in here before, so I don't know what I'm looking at here. But that's pretty much it for Davinci Resolve. There's some things here like with your preferences and being able to change your timeline. One thing that is a little bit of a pet peeve for me is that every time I boot up Davinci Resolve, by default, the frame rate is 24 frames per second, even if it's 4K. Now, I don't know how movie production works all that well. I don't know why we shoot in 24 FPS sometimes, and sometimes we don't. I like 60 because it feels smooth. Like, this video is smooth. You're seeing my hands relatively smooth, and if you were to freeze and any shaky thing, there would be some motion blur, but it wouldn't be terrible. You could make out what I'm doing here. So that's why I don't like that, because immediately once you make a project, it'll default to 24 FPS, and you can't change it in the project for whatever reason. I hope they change that soon. But then you can just make a new timeline in that project and set that to 60 FPS and then import all your stuff. Or just when you're making the new project, make sure before you double click on a new project to change the settings. If you're cool like that and you like 24 FPS, go ahead and do that. I just don't. Here is where you would export. I gotta make sure it has the right preset, because sometimes it isn't MP4 by default. It'll be like QuickTime, whatever the Apple rendering is. This is where you would just export it. You can even export it to YouTube. You can export it in different types of 264, 265. And I usually just make sure that the codec is right. For the most part, Davinci Resolve isn't all too different from Premiere Pro. There's obvious style changes. There's some different stuff here like metadata and mixer, which I don't really use. And the inspector is where I spend the most of my time. There is some weird stuff, like sometimes I can't zoom in. I just realized I can scroll and zoom. Didn't know that. Overall, I do appreciate Davinci Resolve coming into my life, because if it didn't, I would still be paying $400 a month. No, not a month, a year. Wouldn't that be crazy if it was a month? That would be insane. I would be paying rent for Premiere Pro. Anyway, the fact that I had to pay so much for two apps that barely worked all that often, and when they did end up working, they would crash, or they would say I was out of memory, even though I gave it 32 gigabytes of my 64. And overall, that experience just ended up getting old, and it made me not want to edit anymore. So this is very refreshing, and it's actually kind of challenging sometimes, but it's not in a bad way. So I like that. So Davinci Resolve, overall, you have done a good job. I'm giving you 2 thumbs up out of something, you know. You make a determination on how many thumbs up I could give you. I only have 2 arms, but you never know. I could give you some feet thumbs. Anyway. Wait, guys, listen to this. I just realized while editing that this is the quietest this laptop has ever been in the entirety of its existence. It's never been this quiet. Premiere Pro always made it super loud. This is incredible. I didn't even notice this. I took my headphones off because it's crazy. Now, I actually tried a really long time ago to switch to the Davinci Resolve, and I just couldn't. And I don't know why. Maybe I just was having a tough time with my old laptop. Maybe I just wasn't as skilled back then. But this transition was really easy, and I'm really happy about it. If I don't post as frequently, I'm sorry about that. I also have school and work and running. And if I'm not posting every single week or every single month, I'm sorry. I can actually get out second channel videos way quicker because they don't take a lot of research. I'm not delving into some abstract topic. It's just, I do something and I show you. That's where I've been for a little bit. I apologize for not posting too frequently on the main channel. I wish I could. There's a couple videos I'm working on, but this one I wanted to get out first so I could explain why it's been so long. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll leave a like and tell me why you liked it in the comments below, because that really helps me out. That actually boosts my video on the algorithm, so please comment down below what your favorite part of the video was. As always, I will see every single one of you capable, amazing people in the next video. Bye-bye!